listening to Jai Long, and this is Make Your Break. Whether you're a big-hearted creative or an aspiring entrepreneur, let's take action on your dreams, reconnecting you with your why and giving you the how. I'm here to dish out actionable mindset tips and fun industry secrets to help you blow up your biz. From eye-opening reality checks to motivational gold, no two episodes are ever the same. So tune in weekly, skip the FOMO, and let's dive into the deep together. Hey, Make Your Breakers, it's Jai Long here. Hey, have you ever thought about if you should change your business name to your name or if it should be something different? Or have you ever thought about getting a partnership and bringing someone into your business and running it a little bit differently like that? Today, I am actually sharing with you a mentoring session that I did with an amazing wedding photographer. She's inside the Six-Figure Business Map. Her name is Linka, and she came to me this week to talk about what she can do to create a new venture with another photographer, join forces, create something new, and how that looks in terms of how to launch it, how to structure it, how to name it, a whole bunch of things. And I know this episode has so many big hitting secrets that usually only people that pay for mentoring get access to this. So Linka has been so kind that she said I can publish this on the podcast. And you know me, I'm always trying to give as many strategies to as many people as possible so I can help you in some way. And I believe this episode is going to be one that you can share with other friends in the industry because there's going to be so many bangers in it. So don't forget, make sure you do share these with your friends. If you tag them on Instagram or if you just send them a text message, it's so good to, lift other people up as you are climbing that ladder as well. So once you get to the top, make sure you put that ladder down, help the people around you because it's going to help you with your mindset and creating a networking community of other hustlers that are in your corner. And there's nothing better than giving, and not expecting anything in return and then watching the world open up. So let's get into today's episode, and I'll try and bring you more episodes like this as well. From now to the end of the year, I'm going to be doing double drop episodes, and then we're going into season 2 after episode 200. And I've got some really, really exciting things. Last thing I just want to say, if you're a long-time listener and you want to go back and listen to a curated playlist of the podcast. We've got almost 200 episodes now. We've got ones on money mindset, on business, on creativity, so many different things. I've actually put together a quiz to curate the playlist for you and we'll email it to you. So just head over to jailong.co/podcast. That's jailong.co/podcast. Fill in that questionnaire. That will literally take you 15 seconds and then we'll pop you a playlist in your email and explain why each episode I believe you should listen to. So it's a little bit of fun and we just wanted to share the podcast in a unique way and I think this really does hit the nail on the head. So let's get into today's episode. Okay, cool. So there's a few things like personally, if you're going to start something different, I would actually name it something not after your names. That's my personal opinion. So I would actually start something completely separate and call it something like untraditional weddings or, something completely separate, right? And the reason being is because who knows what's going to hold for you guys in like 3 years' time. Maybe you guys will want to do your own thing or whatever. But it's so much easier if you've got a different name. Like my name for my business is called Free the Bird, but now I can actually pass it on to someone else if I want to. And there's a lot more you can do with that. And it's just an exciting thing to build an actual scalable business that's not just your names. So if you're open to that idea, I think that would be really cool because you're both going to have your separate Instagram accounts anyway, and you both have got something else. So you're basically both coming together going like, hey, we've got a new project on the go and this is what we're doing. We're morphing the business this is the business we're actually working for now. And it also means that you guys are like working for the business and on the website you show up. So you have your business name, but then you show up as like, so who runs the business? And then it has a photo of both of you guys, what your roles are, like what you do. You have a video on there and you can really like sort of drive home the personal brand there instead of the actual name of the business. Like, how does that sound?
It sounds good, except for, of course, like a year ago, I just had everything made on my website and all the copy and it's like, I just had Bridget at Lilu's like take my logo and make it Linka, just get rid of my last name, Odom, and make it Linka Yol. So I already have logos.
That's cool. I personally wouldn't change your website and change your business. I would start a new one.
Yeah.
Because you've already built up so much. And what you do with your existing website, you could literally have like a banner on there and say, guess what, guys, we're trading. We've got a new business. Like, here's a link. And it's more exciting than ever before, because then all the SEO, everything you built, all your past clients are not going to be confused when they're like, oh, she got out of business. Like, what's happening here? They can go to that website, they see the banner, and they click through. And then you've got like your new website there. And your new website, you can literally, like, if you've got a show website, which it sounds like you do, you can literally just download the template, upload it to a new thing, and change the name and change the logo. So you don't even need to make a whole new website. You literally can use the same template on your website, and then you just update the copy and stuff. So that's how I would do it if I was you.
Okay.
And then personal one, you just let it die. Like, no, don't let it die, but you just direct all traffic and all work from both of your businesses to the new business. So on your Instagram, you can say like, all professional work is over here now, and you got like a different Instagram account or whatever it is. This is a great way, because who knows in the future, like maybe you want to go back to it. And I've had instances, there was another partnership and they morphed their businesses together. And then after 2 years, they like regretted it and they wanted to work separate, but they got rid of all their stuff that they worked for already. And so with this way, you're sort of more testing the waters. You won't lose all your SEO and stuff. And then if it's working well in 12 months time and a year's time, you can take down the other websites if you want to and just transition straight to your new one. So your new one's there forever.
Mm-hmm.
It's a much safer way of doing it. You know what I mean?
That makes sense.
It's also really exciting because you use your websites now to like drive traffic to the old one, but you announce it. Like, I would have like a 30-day countdown saying like, big announcements coming out. We're launching a new project. I'm doing it with my business partner. And I would have that on both your websites, and then have a countdown timer, and then I'd actually do a launch. So the launch would be, I'd do like maybe a big giveaway to launch the website. I'd work with as many people as you can to like get them on your blog. Like, maybe you can get a whole bunch of people together to do a giveaway with you, like other vendors, things like that. I would get all your clients that you have now. Like you said, you're pretty booked out, but I would get them, like an email them all, say like the new adventure's coming out, like get excited for it. We're going to give away like some free albums and some other things. So make sure you show up and bring your friends. And I would make it like a sort of a big deal about the new venture that you're going on.
Okay.
So in the business map, I've actually got a video. It's called Launch Marketing in Marketing module. And I would go and use that and create some strategies around that. I've got viral giveaways as well, and go watch that, because those two things is going to be what you're going to use to launch your new stuff.
Now we just got to think about a name.
Personally, like, I always tell everyone to go to their personal names, but because you guys are together, I would have it separate, and it gives you so many options down the track too, because you can actually have a scalable business. It means you both can actually hire more people if you want to, and you have like so many other options. Also, it means that you don't have to just do weddings. Like, if you wanted to incorporate commercial, lifestyle, family photos, like things like that, videography, like, you've got options, and you can create an all-inclusive website that has all those things. You could also create packages for elopements. Like, you could have celebrants on board, you could have florists. Like, there's so many things that you can do, so much money that can be made when you create a scalable, like an actual scalable business. And then down the track, I mean, you can actually sell a business like that as well, So like right now for my business, Free the Bird, like, people are offering me 100,000, 200,000 for it. It's actually worth a lot more than that. But people would never do that to me now if it was my name, just because they're not going to buy my name and be the shooter. If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it makes sense. Right now, when people are writing me and I'm unavailable, like, because I don't want to shoot as much as Yale does, I'll be like, oh yeah, we're working as a duo, but so it's confusing for me to like, I've tried to, so I've been trying to like explain it to clients who want me for dates that I can't attend. So that's something that I've been kind of a little, also just a little bit, unsure on how to handle.
Yeah, and so like, if you change the name, you'll be able to have more than just the two of you as well. So you could have a couple more people come on if you wanted to. But here's the homework that I want you to do. Set a date for the launch date for your new website. So this is the first thing you have to do: set a date, then work your way backwards. What do you have to do to get that new website? Well, you have to get a new name. You have to get a new show account. You have to duplicate your website. So that's next thing that you got to do. Work your way backwards, make a timeline. The next thing I want you guys to do is I want you to make a video. So if you could make a video together, even if you're just sitting there, like you could record it like this if you wanted to put on your website. But I would make a video and just explain how everything works. So I'd be like, guys, like this is so exciting. We both work together separately, and then we've just merged and become a superpower. And now, like, we're so excited to bring you so many more services. And you could talk about each other and the story that you told me before and everything like that. But make a video. It can be as professional as you want. It can be just on an iPhone. Like, it doesn't matter. But I do think it's also a great way to put that onto your social media account as well. Once you do those things, then I would work out some like a viral giveaway. So on launch date, you do a viral giveaway, and then I would announce it all over your social media accounts, and I would talk about it every single day. You know what I mean? And like, you could do live videos of other vendors that you work with, like other florists, venues, things like that. Because remember, you're doing it for your clients. So you can be like, guess what, guys? We got my sought after venue wedding planner this weekend. They're going live with us on Instagram to give you tips on how you can plan a better wedding. So you could do things like that on the lead up to your launch, just to get more traction. And then on when you're live, you can go, and I'm so excited to announce we've got a whole new business coming out, and it's just like all the stars have aligned, and this is going to be exciting. So that's the step by step, exactly what I would do if I was you, if I was launching this thing myself.
Okay. Now that we've talked about that, when I first thought about it, I was like, maybe we should just make a new name. So yeah, I mean, that was my instinct, but then I was like, what a pain.
Yeah, I know, seriously.
But yeah, just because it's like I finally just finished, like finally just got like my SEO on my website, and like it's only been up. It's not even been up a year. But
that's fine. Like, that's why you should leave your website.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it does feel like the right thing to do. So another question, because when I do sales, I get every single bride on the phone. Like, I don't send pricing until I talk to someone. And then I send like a proposal with one pricing package. But the more that I like think about it and like listen to you talk and about sales and things like that, I feel like I should be giving them an opportunity to spend more money. I do send like yeah, exactly. I have like an a la carte page, but I mean, and some people, I do shoot traditional film, so sometimes people do add on a couple rolls or something, but I'm not selling as many albums as I'd like to be. And I just feel like that I need to like restructure that. And I know that you have tons of
resources,
copy on this and stuff, but I remember somebody posting in the business map that like you had gone over pricing with them, and then all of a sudden like they were selling like way more. So I was like, I kind of wanted to see what your thoughts are on that.
Okay, so it's really important with every single service that you create, what I do, and inside the business map where I do the client journey. So with your new business, because you're starting from start, like make sure you do this. Make sure you do your ICA and make sure you do your client journey. Now, client journey is important for two different reasons. One is because of the client experience, but the second reason is because all the things you can sell. Now, with a client journey, right, what a client journey is, it's the touch point of what the client has with you, and it's also the timeline leading up to their wedding day and then after the day as well. So the whole process. So it's before they even meet with you. So it's like the client journey is when they find you on social media because you use some hashtags. You know what I mean? So it kind of goes from there. So if you want to sell more albums, it's really, you have to be very intentional with it. Now, here's a few examples. It comes down to the offer. It comes down to, most importantly, is when you sell it. Now, I realized this like years ago, and I've used this analogy in this story before, probably heard it, but you know, just like a few weeks ago, I booked a flight, and it was a pretty expensive flight. And when I booked a flight, I booked the cheapest flight I could get. Then a week before, they sent me an email and it just said, like, get ready for your flight. And then on the way to the flight, so about 4 hours before the flight, I got an email from them and it says, hey, we've got some space with more leg room and it's going to be more comfortable and you can skip the queue and it's only an extra $40. Like, if you're feeling like you want to be less stressed on this trip, would you like to upgrade? And I was like, well, actually, that's exactly what I want. And they know that for a couple of reasons, right?
If they try to sell me that at the start, I wouldn't have done it because I don't care. I'm trying to get a cheap flight. But they know I'm stressed when I'm going to the airport because everybody is, and everybody hates standing in line. So an additional $40 is it's a no-brainer almost. Does that make sense? So it's when they offered it to me. If they offered it to me afterwards, it's irrelevant because I've already caught the flight. So with albums, it's the same thing. So a lot of the times you can't sell albums when you first book people. And the reason being is because they don't really care and they're budget conscious because they've got a lot of stuff to do in front of them. Same as engagement sessions. Now, if we start planning out a year timeline, what I do is I say, look, just book me in. That's all you need to do. Like whatever package you can upgrade and downgrade, whatever time you want to. And most people upgrade because what happens is 6 months before their wedding day, I write to them and I say, hey, I know that you've locked in a lot of your big players now and you're probably smooth sailing towards your wedding day. I think this would be the perfect time to do an engagement session. What we can do is we can meet on this weekend or Monday or Tuesday or whatever day works for you on those times. Now, it's an additional $1,200. I will just add that to the last invoice just before your wedding day. If you want to do it, just click the button here and I'll organize the rest. How's that sound? Now, most people are going to probably upgrade because they're like, well, we need some photos for the engagement session. Like we need that kind of stuff. So it's a perfect upgrade right there. If you did it 2 weeks before the wedding, they wouldn't do it. If you did it 12 months before the wedding, they wouldn't do it. 12 months before the wedding, they're too stressed at trying to plan everything. 2 weeks before, they're too stressed for the wedding day. Now, with the album, right, when's the best time to sell? Well, there's a honeymoon period and it's 2 to 4 weeks after a wedding day. And there's big reason for it because people have wedding withdrawals. And what happens is they spend all this time and they're stressing out about their wedding day and they spend so much money on it. But as soon as it's over, they no longer have any bills. They don't have to pay for anything anymore. So they've got their money coming back in, which is most important. But also they've got nothing to look at. So what you can do at that stage, like in your client journey, make sure you send an email 2 weeks straight after the wedding day and say, hey guys, I'm just going through all your wedding photos and just to be truthful for you, like with you, they're fucking amazing. These are amazing photos. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to design an album for you. Now, whether or not you like the album, like I believe you're actually really going to want this album, but would you like me to go ahead and show you the album? And chances are going to say, oh, that would be amazing. I really want to see the photos. So before they even see all the photos, you can actually send them the album. So then they're like, clicking through, looking at the album online, right? So they're seeing their photos for the first time. Now, all you have to say is, photos are going to be ready in 2 weeks, but you know what I can do? If you want this album, I can get it done in 2 weeks. So then it comes with the photos. So all you have to do is I'll just send you the invoice here, $1,500, let me know, and we can get this thing going. And then from there, why not? They're on honeymoon, they want something, perfect time. And then they'll buy. So then afterwards, I just upsold a $1,200 engagement session and then $1,500 wedding album. So when I look at that, what's that, $2,700? I mean, that's on top of what they've already paid me. So now if they paid me $5,000, now it's an $8,700 wedding. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So
and you're having someone else design the album?
Oh, absolutely. You get someone else to do it. You just outsource it. It's so easy. And you do that because it costs $50 to do probably. You know, you could get it on Upwork or whatever. And then, you know, like most people buy an album if they've got it right there in front of them. And it's ease. Like you just got to say, hey, do you want me to print this thing? Just say yes. And I'll send you the invoice. You know, you make it easy for them as much as possible. So if you get out a whiteboard, both of you guys together, and you look at the client journey, there is so many opportunities to sell. And I'll tell you more. When somebody first gets in touch with you, like, do they know about your albums? Maybe, maybe not. Okay. So what we do is we prime people to sell to them. So what I would do is on that client journey, I'd say, okay, so someone gets on my website. If I look at my homepage, I don't have any albums on there and I don't have engagement sessions. Maybe we should add that. They're not going to buy it straight away, but now they know that we offer it. Okay, so when they contact me, there's a thank you page after they contact me. On that thank you page, you know what I should do? I should redirect them to albums and say, thank you for getting in touch. We'll be back to you in 24 hours. Before then, why don't you check out some of their albums? They look incredible, you know? And then you send them to your album resource pages. So that way they're looking at them. You haven't made the sale, but now they know that you have albums. Oh my God, they look amazing. Like maybe we'll get those one day, right? And then in 6 months' time, or like maybe even a month before the wedding day, you could send them just a blog post about albums and say, hey, I just wanted to show you this. Like this is not anything you're thinking about yet, but I wanted to show you some of the albums that we've been doing just as you get some inspiration, have a look before your wedding day. and then you're still not selling to them. But then when it comes to 2 weeks after the wedding day, and then you say, hey, would you like me to make that album for you now? They've had a year to think about that album, and now you've sold it to them at the exact right time. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So every single thing that you offer, you need to put it on a whiteboard, and you need to see, like, how many times do I talk to them, and when can I start? It's like called cross-selling as well. When can I start cross-selling and product placement and really showing them? It gives them the best experience possible. Because what most people do is they try and upsell them on the first day. Say, hey, like, book me $8,000. I'm going to sell you everything. And then they usually walk away and go, geez, I was overwhelmed. They just upsold me all the time. Like, I didn't really want I didn't want it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The hardest sale you can ever get is the first sale. And then after that, it's fucking easy. So for instance, like for me, it's easy for me to sell the business map after someone buys the summit for $7. The reason being is because once someone gets out their credit card, then what happens psychologically is, well, I've made a purchase before and I trust, right? So if you got someone who said, hey, I'm going to shoot your wedding, I'll do it for $1,000. I know if I said that to someone, I went and shot their wedding for $1,000, I know I'll get paid $5,000 because I'm like, all you have to do is swipe the card. We can upgrade later. It's $1,000. I mean, that's it, right? Book me in for 4 hours, $1,000. And then on the way up, I'm going to be like, hey, I know we started on 4 hours, but you probably need 8. And then we might need to do an engagement session. And if you want, there's an album. And, you know, to be honest, you might as well put on a second photographer. You only paid $1,000 anyway. So you're saving so much money. And then by the end of it, you know, you've made $8,000.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the first sale is always the hardest sale because you're trying to get someone over the line. And then as soon as someone swipes their credit card, you know this. If you walk into a supermarket, you're going to go and buy one thing because that's the one sale. And on the way out, you're grabbing heaps of shit. You know what I mean? Because that's why the supermarket is literally designed. If you've ever had a look, they'll stick nappies in the back corner, milk in the back corner, and bread in the back corner because you have to walk past everything on the way back out. So if you go buy nappies, what they do, supermarkets, is they lose money on nappies, and a lot of the time they lose money on milk, so they sell it for cheaper than they buy it. But it's the thing that brings people through, and if they can get you to walk through the supermarket, almost no one walks past and doesn't pick something else up. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yes.
So basically, that's what you're doing in your business. You want to make a lot more money in your business, then it's been intentional with knowing exactly where your clients are at every given moment, and then knowing what do they need right now? Like, how can I help them in so many ways? Another example of this, right? I went to the airport the other day. This blew my mind. This is another airport story. I went to the airport the other day, and then it was for an international flight. And literally, I just got a message, and someone wrote to me saying, hey, for $20, I'm going to stand in line and check in your bags for you. Click yes if you accept. And I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, that's amazing. I didn't do it, but I'm like, the fact that someone is there hustling and that's their business and they just linked it in with the airline, like, it's the perfect upsell. I wouldn't do it at the start, but I'm like, yes, please take my bags. You know, I'm going to cruise up. That's awesome. So there's, just with that example, right? There is so many opportunities to make a lot of money because there's so many things your clients need all the time. For instance, like, your clients will pay you more to recommend a florist or a celebrant because now, even though you're taking some money off it or commission or something, they would rather buy it through you because you trust them and you worked with them before. Just the same as my builder. I'm actually building a house right here, right now. My builder, I would rather get the cabinet maker through my builder that costs a little bit more. And I know he's making a little bit of money, but I know they work well together and I know that he trusts them, so I trust them. And it's worth me spending that little bit more money. And so they're solving my problem just a little bit. They can liaise and talk and stuff. So in your business, if you can think of the way that you could make bigger packages, if you had elopements, you could have a whole elopement package where you could literally include accommodation, airport transfers, a florist, a makeup artist, a celebrant. If you did that, you can charge $15,000, $20,000 for that. And people would pay it all day long because they're like, oh my God, I had to do nothing for my wedding day. It was amazing. Does that make sense?
It does.
Yeah.
I don't have relationships like that with vendors yet, but working on it.
Yeah, but that's on the to-do list. Remember, your net worth, and I put this on Instagram today, but literally your net worth is your network. And it's 100% true. And the reason being is because people that don't know you can't refer you. People that don't know you, they can't buy from you. They can't do business with you. So it's not who you know, it's actually who knows you. And we do that by getting that network of vendors, like being known by every single wedding vendor in your area, other wedding photographers, other wedding videographers, like all these people. Because the person that knows everybody and everybody knows that person, they always make the most money.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
If I wanted to, like, for instance, right now, if I wanted to just offer, if I'm trying to offer a couple different packages, right? Like currently, I just send a proposal and it says this much time and whatever. If I wanted to say, I'm trying to find a way right now to offer an opportunity for them to spend more money. Would I just like throw in an album and discount it a tiny bit and throw in like some rolls of film and say, oh, and this is another option to kind of have everything we offer, but just do like two different options but this is discounted if you add it on later. What would you suggest right now? Like what I'm doing right now works, and I
well,
most of the people I talk to.
Yeah, which you're always going to do. And don't forget, like a lot of the times what we do is we do two big mistakes. And one is we give too much and we charge too less. So like a lot of people don't realize this, but the more that you give, the more complicated it becomes. And the more that people see stuff that they don't want, and then they get confused. And this is one of the reasons why I always say, like, if you're going to be a wedding photographer, like if you're adding in free engagement sessions, like you're doing your business harm. And I've literally proved this hundreds of times now where we've A/B tested so many wedding photographers, which they tell me, no, it's not true. It's different area, Jai. But I've done it. Never not been wrong in that one. But what happens is if we start giving too much, like it's not what we came in for. And think about it. It's like going in and buying an iPhone and then them saying like, I'm going to throw in like a little case and a charger, and I'm going to like sell you the headphones. I'm going to sell you all this. And then sometimes you're like, I just wanted the phone and I really just didn't need all the other things. And I'm willing to pay top dollar for it. So it gets confusing because it's called buyer's paralysis. If there's too many choices, too many things to think about. So the other thing is what we do is we start lowering our prices, which is also what no one ever wants either. Like we think we do, but the second that we see a lower price, the first thing we assume is, oh my God, something's wrong. I know it is, but I'm not sure what it is. And then so I'm skeptical. I do that all the time. I'm so skeptical about everything, right? If I go in to buy an iPhone, I know it's $1,000 and then I go in there, it's $500. The first thing I think, is it out of warranty? Is it broken? Is the screen broken? Is it stolen? Like, I don't know what's wrong with it. I'm not excited about the deal anymore. You know what I mean? Like, you've confused me. So sometimes, like, it's really important, like, even though you're trying to get more people over the line, sometimes stacking more things doesn't actually do that. It's perceived as too much work for them. And a lot of the times, the less you give them, the more valuable it is. It's just the same as, for instance, inside the 6-figure business map, right? If I literally halve the time, so right now it's like you get 12-month access. If I gave you 6-month access, it's actually worth twice as much. If I gave you 6 weeks access, it's actually worth 10 times as much. And the reason being is because more time just means more work for you. Does that make sense? And it's like, well, if I get the same results over 6 weeks, if you can work that out, Jai, or over 6 days, then it's worth $30,000. Now there's less work involved. So it's actually, if you start taking things away from people, it means they've got to do less work. And if there's less engagement sessions, like when they're like planning out their wedding day, if there's less things for them to look at, then it becomes easier to book you.
Okay, so I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. And I have stopped offering free engagement sessions since you said that.
Good.
I talked to a couple yesterday and I was like, I had to stop myself. I'm like, don't say it. Don't say it. I was like, don't, because I was doing it.
No, with the free engagement sessions, the way that you run it, this is the touch point thing again, right? So if you do that client journey, this is where you're going to make a lot more money. So what I would do is I would give free engagement sessions. I'm not saying don't do that. What I am saying is don't put it into your packages, because you put it into your packages. Yeah. It's just like, oh my God, there's more work and I have to do more things. And it gets like, it's free. So it's not worth anything. And I don't want to do something that's not worth anything. So a lot of people say like, well, what if I take off the engagement session? It doesn't change the price because it's free. Well, if you don't want it, fuck Jai, why would I want it? You know what I mean? So this is the way that we think. I don't fucking want the free thing. You don't even want it. But this is what you do. You have a client meeting and you say, okay, so you're booking me and everything. I see like you're looking at the biggest package. How would you guys feel? Like, have you been thinking about an engagement session at all? And then they might go, oh, no, actually, I really don't like it. Good. I don't like them either. And then you can move on to something else. Have you thought about wedding albums, But if they say yes, yeah, Joe, actually, I've been thinking about an engagement session. Have you? I think that could be a great idea. You know what we will do, actually? My engagement sessions are $1,200. But because you're thinking about getting that package, I'm actually going to include that for the $1,200. I'll invoice it out. It'll be $0. How's that sound? Will that help you get you over the line, or will that make you feel good? Yeah, that sounds incredible, Jai. Okay, let's do that. Now, the client experience is different because I gave him $1,200 worth of value, not a free engagement shoot. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So you can
I'm
absolutely
not saying,
give stuff.
Sure, just throw it on.
Yeah. And I learned this when I was a tradie. Like literally, my mentor gave me the best advice I could ever get. And he said, Jai, never work for free and don't invoice them. If you're working for free, send them the invoice with zero charge so they know how much it's worth, right? So as an electrician, what we used to do is we used to go work for our builders for free on their houses because we were trying to get more work, right? So we'd always do that. But what we would do is I'd do $6,000 worth of work on his house, and then I'd send him the invoice, $6,000, and itemize everything that we did. And then at the end, I would say, charge $0. And then it changed everything because you'd be like, fuck, boys, I fully appreciate that $6,000 worth of work you did. It's amazing. Opposed to just going like, yeah, can you stick in another PowerPoint? Like, can you do a little bit more work? Because they don't value you if you're not invoicing them. So if you're going to give away a free engagement shoot that's $1,200, send the invoice for $1,200 with $0 charge. Now they know it's a $1,200 thing. It's a big deal. They will show up differently. They will value it. They will get dressed up because, they'll put time into it because now they actually see the value.
Okay. That's easy. I can do that.
Super easy. And you will convert more people by doing that. So all you're doing is selling them what they actually want, not pushing onto them what they don't want just because you want it. So other examples is like, maybe they want a second photographer. Like I do this all the time. You told me your wedding's 300 people, but your budget's a little bit small. And with the package that you want, it doesn't have a second photographer. So how would you feel about getting a second photographer? Oh, Jai, I'd love to if I had the money. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to throw in a second photographer for you, no charge. How's that sound? Does that help you get over the line? That would be amazing, Jai. Let's do it then. No problem. So I would always do things like that. And I do all the time. You know how generous I am with all the things that I do. But I make sure in every interaction that I have with my clients that they walk away where they're going, fuck, Jai, you give me so much value. It's actually like, how do you sleep at night? Like that's how it needs to feel every interaction from every business that I do. Every single time. Yeah, I need to feel like I'm being ripped off every time. It's uncomfortable. And the reason being is because I know that I'm like just providing tremendous amounts of value that means.
So if we shoot, we're always shooting, both of us, pretty much. Is that something I should drop after? Should I withhold that information and act like it's like some awesome bonus?
Absolutely. So are you guys actually shooting together on a wedding day?
Yeah, unless I'm literally like out of town,
100%, man. Like, so there's so many things that we offer so much value and we never tell people about it. Like, it blows my mind how understated we just don't sell ourselves. So the first thing I would be saying is like, you're having a client meeting and I'd be like, okay, so we've got 2 shooters. So it's us 2 here. Usually we're sort of sometimes work together, but usually we sort of do our own thing. But you know what? On this wedding day, like, how would you feel if both the A shooters come out and we both shoot your wedding? How would that feel for you? And then they'll be like, oh my God, that'd be amazing. Yeah, no extra charge. Holy shit. You know what I mean? So then it's like, thank you for both of you guys coming out. This is an incredible experience. I feel so good about this. And it was such, you guys are just amazing that you look after me.
Yeah. Instead of being like, I have a second photographer, it's like we're both A shooters. That's a good point.
Yeah, they're going to value both of you guys as A shooters, opposed to someone's just there to help.
Yeah. Okay.
And everybody
that's something I'm definitely not advertising, and that's something that I think we can definitely add into like our wording.
I know. And so another thing that we can add into our wording, because urgency and scarcity is the thing that like gets people over the line, and a lot of people don't really push this home enough. So for example, if I gave you 100 leads today, could you book them all?
I think I could book
fully overwhelmed.
I think I could. I would be super overwhelmed. Wait, do I think I could book them all? I think I could book a lot of them. I would be super overwhelmed.
Yeah, I actually highly doubt you could book 100 people for next year. You'd be stressed,
Oh,
right?
for next year? No, no.
You just couldn't do it, right? So
I don't even
you just
want 100 people. I could no.
exactly. And so what happens is when people walk through your door, they feel like, oh, like I could just book this person. Like it doesn't really matter, whenever. But really, the truth is, you have such a small, limited amount of people you can actually work with. And so if you actually bring that into the meeting and say, guess what, guys? I only work with 30 couples per year. Like we only work with 30 couples. So this is a big deal. And we are very selective who we work with and the work that we do. And I'm so excited that I get to speak with you today. And you're potentially a client that we're going to spend a lot of time with over the next 12 months. So I can spend time to get to know you guys, make sure that nothing is overlooked, and I can give you the best experience possible. How's that sound? So if you actually started with that, how much of a game changer is that compared to, guys, you got to book me? Yes, like I'm still available. So it's just like the wording that we use, because it's just the truth. That's all we're saying. It's just the truth. Like, for example, you guys are on a coaching call with me right now. Like I only really do 2 or 3 coaching calls per week. And that's all I can really do. I just can't do more because I'm overwhelmed. I'm exhausted. I've got other things I've got to do. And so like, I don't scream home enough about it. But if I did, it's like, guys, guess what? I only looking after 2 other people this week. You guys are the other one. So this is a big deal for us, So then it's all of a sudden you're like, shit, if you only get 3 people, I need to book into that calendar so I don't miss out. And so that means if I literally told everyone that I only book 3 clients per week, which I actually do, and I told everyone the truth, I would book so much more work. Because all of a sudden everyone would be like, quick, get out the credit card. I need to get it, I'll book in next week or the week after, even though they weren't going to book me anyway. You know what I mean? The FOMO is the best seller. Like it says, oh shit, man, if everyone else is getting it and I'm not getting it, oh man, I'm getting left behind.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest with you, I that is something that I've been paying a lot of attention to. I'm very bad with the urgency, scarcity thing. Mm-hmm. I'm working on it. But it is true. We are very selective about who we work with. And we do only shoot about 30 weddings a year. So
exactly. So the thing is with urgency and scarcity, like you have to be ethical in business, which means, in my opinion, means you cannot lie. So you cannot inflate numbers or do anything else, because even if you shot 50 weddings, it's still so small. So, and you had no bookings next year. And I literally do this. I mean, when I first started, guess what, guys? I only work with 50 couples per year, And so you guys hopefully are one of them. Like, how's that sound? Oh my God, John, is that serious? That's amazing. Absolutely. And so it's scarce. Opposed to, hey, I've got no bookings yet next year, so any weekend is available. Oh shit, man, no one likes this guy.
Sounds good. Yeah. Well, we have a lot of work to do, and I'm not excited about the having to do it all after I just finished doing it all.
Well, get excited because you just finished it all, which means you know what you're doing. It's so much easier the second time. And that's the thing with business and everything you're learning. Like literally, it keeps stacking. You never lose any of it. And it's so easy the second time because you're always like, oh man, the first time I wish I knew all this stuff. But yeah, do some whiteboard sessions, map out that client journey. It's one of the most important things for your business, and no one ever does it. And it blows my mind. You can literally double your income if you just do a few of these steps.
Okay. Well, I'm really excited we got to meet you in person.
Yeah.
And hopefully as well, I get to meet you next August in person.
Let's not say hopefully, we're definitely, yeah.
You booked it and everything. I'm going for sure.
Yeah. We're booked. We were just rolling out the little thing and it's all booked.
Cool. Well, I did want to tell you this. Mm-hmm. Like, I swear to God, the day I joined, I don't know, there's some kind of weird, I feel like there's some kind of weird kinetic, like network, like magic that happens when you join the business app. Like we were doing well and we have been doing well, but we landed like the largest commercial job we've ever landed the next day. And then we've been getting literally like 5 leads every like 2 days. Like this morning I had 3 leads. Yesterday I had 2 leads. I'm just like, I've never had this much like happen. And I went and met with one of the girls in the business map who's local. And she was like, me too, man. It's like, it's like crazy. It's like some door
It's
opens
amazing
to
how
some
it works,
magic,
man. It's amazing
to
how it
some
works.
magic realm.
It really is, and it's all on purpose and intentional. And I know that it all works like this, but it's one of the main things is like I tried to make the business map as expensive as I could, at the same time as affordable as I could. And one reason is because when it's something that's a little bit uncomfortable to pay for, and then you go into it, then you're ready. You know what I mean? So because it's like you have to have that gateway, and then you're ready, and that means when you're ready, it means you're going to take action, and it means that you're going to actually get out there and like change your attitude and change your mindset. And like the knock-on effect is huge. And even like all these little strategies right now, like you guys are so coachable. Listening to all this, like I know you're going to get big results from it. So you're ready for it, which means you're going to get big results from it.
Absolutely. I know how busy you are, and I really, really appreciate that you do this. Thank you. And we're excited to see what happens over the next year.
Cool. I'll see you guys soon. Thanks so much for having me. Talk to you soon.